Hi everyone, this is Yasin Nizami. I'm part of the Global Collaboration Sales team supporting SP's channel in Canada. And today I'm going to tell you how and why webex calling is crucial for your business to transform your UC needs into a fully digital microservices-based cloud architecture. So let me just share my screen and we will right get into it. So webex calling is a tenant and microservices based architecture, which means we have data centers deployed across the globe. It is simpler to buy, simpler to manage, simpler to consume type of service. So you don't need expensive network to run this service on. It can simply run on an open internet as long as you have good quality bandwidth available, and it's easier to manage from an IT perspective, right? So an IT admin can just access the controller from anywhere and manage the entire life cycle for your end user needs. You can see it's part of a global cloud platform. So we have multiple workloads within our webex ecosystem, which means calling, meetings, messaging, contact center, and then devices are also part of it. So all the devices that we have, whether this is video endpoints, conferencing units, as well as the IP phones just behind me, they all are part of it. It's pre-integrated into this solution. And you can see that the entire workload is supported by controller as a single pane of glass. And when it comes to accessing those services through a quality of service type of a network, you can take advantage of a unified edge, which means you can consume PSTN services through that. You can also get all of these services delivered through a privately connected network, which is we call unified edge. So from a reliability perspective, we promise 4 nines, up to 4 nines. And then of course, the security is built in, it's baked into the solution. It's not bolted on. From a geo redundancy perspective, we have data centers which are fully geo redundant, which means if one data center goes down, the next one will take the entire 100% traffic. And we have support organizations globally spread, and then they can continue supporting 24/7, follow the sun approach, so that you get what you need in the time of crisis. From an API perspective, we have APIs which are easy to consume, RESTful APIs, things like if you wanted to bulk upload the user data from, let's say, an HR system, or you wanted to integrate with your CRM system, the calling integration into it, or simply just integrate with third-party systems like overhead paging or other systems that are part of your business workflow. We can do that very easily. Our APIs are very easily consumable, and we can integrate with your business workflows. Just a snapshot in terms of how many features we can deliver. Pretty much every enterprise UC feature is in the solution. You don't have to pay anything extra to get that. But what is the key differentiation here? Well, the one key differentiation that stands out against our competitor is the Control Hub. Control Hub is a single pane of glass that allows you as a customer or your IT admin to manage the entire life cycle of your customer. They can also see the adoption data. They can also see the troubleshooting data. If you're running into quality issues, the IT admin can quickly and easily see that and pinpoint where the actual problem lies. And it's all available through one single window. From analytics perspective, you can see the KPIs that you want to monitor. You can see the low-level data like codec, IP addresses, the layer 3 data that typically you have to download a Wireshark trace to analyze that. It's all available in this GUI. You can see the call detail records. You can export that through an email sent out to the other departments for some compliance reason, for example. So a lot of stuff that is easily available, which requires a lot of troubleshooting and other systems in a typical vendor solution. From E911 perspective, we are fully compliant to meet CARI's and Raybon's Act in US. The way we do it is we partner with a third-party vendor, Red Sky, to allow us to dynamically update the location address as user moves from one location to the another. Okay, so that's part of the solution already baked in. You don't have to pay anything extra if you are in US. For other countries, you can still take advantage of Red Sky integration, but it comes as an extra charge. Now, from the global footprint perspective, you can see we have data centers across all major geos, and we're expanding. We are investing more R&D dollars into it, and we can also sell the service in 85 plus countries. countries like India as well, where before we were not able to do that because of their strict regulatory requirements. Now we can expand into Indian market as well. And we can also localize our GUI, our system announcement, into local language. For example, in European countries, where every single European country speak a different language, we can localize the entire solution to suit their local needs. And our partner organization can also speak up to 6 different languages. From PSTN perspective, we have 3 different options. You can consume Cisco calling plan, which is Cisco delivered solution, which that includes PSTN numbers as well as the minutes across North America or in Europe or APJC. Or you can also buy from a third-party cloud-connected provider like IntelliPeer, like NTT, like Tata Systems, or OneStream type of providers. Or you can bring your own SIP by using a local gateway, plug your local SIP into it, and you can leverage that integration as well. One of the key differentiation that webex calling or webex as a whole compete against third-party systems is our end-to-end integration. So we control our device firmwares, our device integration with our software in the cloud, so that we can be unique in terms of how we deliver the solution. That's the reason why we have been called Apple of collaboration, because we control the entire stack, not only from the device perspective, but also how the cloud application works seamlessly with our device portfolio. We also build a lot of tools and processes to make the entire migration easy and simpler. Things like you can centralize your dial plans in the cloud while still managing the on-premise infrastructure. You can also failover or load balance your traffic by using trunk groups and route groups. You can also do something like media optimization. If the customer is calling from the same LAN, we can release the media so that you can optimize your bandwidth utilization. From a selling perspective, you can consume the service from different flexible selling methods. You can either go full cloud or full on-premise, or you can do mix and match. For example, you want to buy the service, but you are not sure when all of your users will be able to migrate. So you can buy a mixed deployment where you can start from a heavy amount of users on-premise, but over time you can slowly move to the cloud. So that's possible in our webex suite, our flagship deal that we are leading with. And then you can also do mixed EA as well, where you want to do webex suite, but you don't want to give everybody a suite license. That's also possible as well in a mixed EA arrangement. Now, webex calling dedicated instance is another key differentiation, because dedicated instance is a dedicated software version and the virtual machines dedicated for one customer. So webex calling multi-tenant is one code base for the entire user base, but dedicated instance gives you the flexibility in terms of keeping everything separate for your own needs. You can customize those applications. You can stay on that particular version for quite some time compared versus the other customers who can be on a different release. So those are the capabilities available so that you can leverage your investment in terms of your handsets, your integrations that you build over time, so you don't have to throw them away just because you want to move to the cloud. Now we know all the benefits of the cloud calling. There are some disadvantages as well, which typically people push back on. So we can meet those challenges by giving them dedicated instance, because people say, hey, I have 7900 series handset, I don't want to throw them away. I have some custom integrations I built over time, I don't want to change that, and basically it's going to be very expensive for me to redo all the integrations. You can do all of that using dedicated instance, because it's typically the same UCM cluster in the cloud. So just to wrap up webex calling, it's an enterprise grade solution. Gives you complete collaboration, easy to manage, easy to consume, gives you flexible migration path, and it can be deployed in multiple different options. Now, what if you have moved to Microsoft Teams? Well, first thing you need to understand, what is your business requirement? Every business needs some sort of external collaboration, right? At Cisco, we basically interact with our partners, resellers, distributors, and customers more often than internal communication. So that requires a solution that can be easily deployable and secure in order to communicate externally. Although we want collaboration to stay with Cisco, but I think reality is a lot of customers have already moved to Microsoft Teams just from messaging perspective. So even in that case, we can still integrate our calling or meetings, our devices into Microsoft Teams environment very seamlessly and very cost effectively as well. One of the idea is our video devices are fully integrated with third-party meeting services, including Zoom and Google Meet as well as Microsoft Teams. So you can still take advantage of our award-winning devices and the camera intelligence that we built around. So high definition audio and video, using these devices to connect with your third-party meeting service like Microsoft Teams. Third-party organization also compare us with other vendors. So PKE Consulting did an analysis to compare who does the best noise cancellation, and Cisco Webex stands out, one of the top leader who does the noise cancellation best amongst other vendors. And they also call us Apple of collaboration because we control the entire end-to-end experience, devices, network security, application, and the overall roadmap of the solution, compared to a piecemeal solution where every single vendor is involved and it becomes challenging to support when it comes to troubleshooting. Microsoft always tell you, it's very easy to consume Microsoft Teams, but the reality is it's a mixed bag of vendor solutions, and when it comes to troubleshooting, you have to spend a lot of time and resources to figure out who is causing this issue. Is it audio code? Is it poly? Is it network? Is it security? Or is it just application in the cloud? Also, from cost perspective, the PKE Consulting and other third-party companies, they did comparative analysis to see how Cisco Webex and E3 comes when it comes to cost analysis compared to other options, and we came very cost effective when it comes to comparing E3 plus add-ons or E3 plus other vendor solutions. So that's what I wanted to share with you, but also I want to give you a quick demo on our Control Hub, which is the key differentiation against other competitors. So if I share my screen, I can show you that. So when you log into Control Hub, you can see the overall service status. You can see all the different workloads. You can see the devices, how many issues you have, for example, and the status of the device health, right, or the system health. But if you go into calling category, this is where we're going to focus for this demo. You can see there are so many things we can do. You can control the entire life cycle of the customer. You can see the numbers and the users provisioned. You can see the locations provisioned. You can easily add new locations. You can control the call routing through it. You can see all the features like, hand groups, auto attendant, call products, and all of that can be configured from just one single window. Now, the biggest piece of differentiation is the analytics. You can see that when you go into analytics, it gives you all the insights from your customer. So if you click on the calling piece, you can see that it gives you different stats like media quality. You can also see the call detailed records. And you can also export that for other processing as well. You can also see the engagement data, how your users are consuming the service, from what devices, from what network type. And then you can also see the quality data, which means, is my customers having bad experience or everything is working fine? You can see the jitter, latency, packets, and all that stuff, and you can drill it down to each call leg to figure out whether this is codec issue, LAN issue, or is it a problem in the WAN network, so that you can pinpoint and troubleshoot quickly before the customer even realize that they're having a bad quality experience. So that's all I have for you. If you think this is beneficial, give us a call and we will help you to transform your UC needs and move you to our cloud solution as soon as possible and as easy as possible as well. So thank you very much. I'll see you next time.